What is happening, guys? Brody here with another new video. For quite a while now, I have been wanting to build a DIY front splitter for the car. My plans, like a lot of people, I'm going to end up using ABS plastic for it. It is the weekend at the moment and a lot of those plastic stores are not typically open, but at the moment I really do not need the plastic yet anyways. First, I will have to build a design and I'm probably going to end up just using some cardboard to mock that design up. So what I'm gonna go do right now is hit up maybe a couple stores and try and see if they have some cardboard that I can steal from them. And then today I'm gonna try and mock up that design. As well, as you may or may not know, a lot of people when they do these DIY splitters, they'll end up just screwing them into the front bumper. I want to do more than that. I'm going to try and make more of a frame or chassis mounted splitter. I've seen it where if guys use a thick enough ABS plastic, they can actually get it to the point where they can stand on it. So that's what I'm gonna try and go for. So let's get out and try and find some cardboard. That'll ensure I have enough space on each side. As for this way, lots of space to get a decent sized lip as well for the box to go a little ways under the car. That way I can figure out where underneath the car I'll need to mount it. Like I said, I'm probably gonna try and use pre-existing holes and bolts that probably held like the skid plate underneath. So I'll figure that out once I end up jacking the front end of the car up. I can get underneath and have a look. So went ahead and got the car lifted up on jack stands. So, as you can see, this is the skid plate, obviously underneath the front of the car. Now, what I'm going to try and do is mount the splitter using existing bolts, like so. And then if we look back even, I'm not sure how far back I would go, but if I need to, I can even use like the bolt holes back here. So that's kind of what I'm gonna use to support the splitter from the back as well. From the front, I haven't decided yet if I'll use splitter rods or brackets or something, but I'll end up mounting the splitter to something along the front of the car. Either one of these holes, I don't know. I haven't figured any of that out yet, but I'm gonna try and use existing holes that are already on the car. So obviously the bolts that are holding the skid tray underneath, I'll use some of those. And then I'll also use some of these holes or something to mount more brackets too. So I'll either have like a bracket or a splitter rod going from certain points down and holding the splitter. I don't wanna have it screwed into the bumper at all. Right now, I have this lip on the bumper and that's just screwed in. Splitter is just gonna simply sit underneath both of those and it'll be mounted directly to the frame of the car. Seeing I don't know exactly how this is gonna sit up on the car, I think I'm gonna go ahead, turn the camera off, do a little bit of work, try and figure some things out here. And then I'll show you guys kind of where I'm at and what I've done. And yeah, then we can kind of just go from there. As you can see, I just have the cardboard sitting up on a couple boxes and tables just to hold it up. And then, I don't know if you can, I'll try and get underneath the car and show you. I basically went and trimmed around the cardboard where the frame kind of is here. And then I've basically cut it so it comes out and sticks flush with the end of the bumper. And I did the same kind of thing on both sides, where I basically trimmed it in between the frame here. And then it comes out and meets again flush with the bumper. And then in the center, where this kind of piece comes back. These were two bolts that were originally holding the skid plate on. So I went ahead and mounted the cardboard up. And essentially that is where I will drill the holes into the plastic when I go ahead and trace the cardboard onto the plastic. So that's kind of how I have it mounted right now at the back. And this is all that's holding the back of the cardboard up. So as you can see, I've basically made it flush here with the bumper. And that is where it goes underneath. And it's kind of getting held up by this box, but essentially when it's sitting flat, it'll be flush against the bumper on this side. Now what I'm going to do is, since I have the back section mocked up with the splitter, I'm gonna try and go around and trace this outer edge so I know where the bumper sits in proportion with the cardboard. Hey guys, so just so you can get a bit of a better idea for what I'm talking about, obviously I had to trim a little bit out because this is where it would bump into the wheel. So I need to make sure I have clearance here. That is where it was able to mount those couple bolts. Same exact thing on the other side. If you can see this line, I essentially just tried my best to trace out the outer edge of the bumper. Because I can take the front bumper off now, and then I can sit it back on top of this piece of cardboard, and I can kind of sit it exactly where the splitter would have been before. I can figure how far from the bumper I want the splitter to come out, and then I'm going to trace that line out, cut the rest of the remaining cardboard off, and then I'll sort of have the shape of the splitter. I'm going to go ahead and pop the bumper off, sit it back down here, and then I can figure out how far I want the splitter to go. Now I've got the cardboard down, and then I've taken the bumper off, and I've sat that on top. All I did, I don't know if you can see it, but I have a bit of a line here. And then I've just kind of sat the bumper where I've traced that line. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'll show you the trick that I'm going to use to space out the width of the splitter. All I went ahead and did was I just took my pack of index cards. This is essentially the distance that I want the splitter to come off of the bumper. And then I just went ahead and duct taped the pencil to the outside of the index cards. So then this edge of the index cards, I'll essentially just let it run against the surface of the lip. And then on the outer edge, this is where the pencil will just trace the line. That way I at least get a nice consistent curve for my splitter to go around the lip and the bumper. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do right now. Now, if you can see my new pencil line, and that is essentially the outline of what my splitter will be. And if I want, I obviously can trim it down. I don't want it to be this big. Maybe I want to shrink it a little bit. We can still do that. That's why honestly, you're better off making it too big than too little. So at least now, if I do want to go a little bit smaller, I can always shave it down a little bit. I'm gonna figure out what I want to do on the sides. I don't know that I want to have the corners and sides rounded like this. I might want to make it a little straighter so it just comes straight and then starts to round off. So I'm gonna kind of play with that a little bit and figure out what I want it to do. Guys, so I went ahead and got the splitter all trimmed out. So yeah, keep in mind this is just a rough idea. Just using that cue card technique, I was able to get a pretty smooth line across the front. And then what I ended up doing was, it wouldn't look good if it kind of just kept going around. It would stick out way too much. So I kind of made a straight line and kind of found a point. Let me know though what you guys think. If you think this splitter looks too big, if you think I should go a little bit smaller. Like I said, I definitely would never go any bigger than this, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it back onto the car just to kind of give you a little bit of a update. I'm gonna pop the bumper back off and see if I can somehow keep the cardboard just kind of hung up in the meantime. That way it gives me a bit of a better idea. But it looks like the distance where I cut it on the sides was like perfect. See if I can brighten this up a bit. Because as you can see, it's kind of like comes out right to the edge of the tire, which is like a really good look, I think. Just to try and give you a little bit of an idea. It's kind of hard, I know, when it's up in the air still, but I don't know. I like the look of it. I haven't decided yet if I'd trim the front section down just a little bit more. I don't know if it's a little bit too big for my liking. Should I change the design a little bit? Should I kind of hug it in a little bit more? Maybe not so far out. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to pop the bumper off and see if I can get this cardboard so it stays up without having to use the tables. So I think I did as much as I'm going to do today. I haven't really done anything extra. I kind of just ended up taping it up because that was the only way I could really think of to hold it. Drop the car back onto the ground. Gives me a better idea for how the splitter looks and whether or not I think it's sticking out too far. I might end up obviously rounding these edges a little more here. Nothing here is really finalized. But anyways, definitely let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like I said, I will end up changing some things as well in the next video. I'm gonna figure out where I kind of want to mount the splitter in the front of the car. And obviously I gotta find the material that I want. I still haven't quite decided on what thickness. I want to do it a little thicker, but it's either going to be 1/4 inch or 3/8. That's going to be the thickness of the ABS plastic. But yeah, that's kind of more or less a generic idea for kind of what I'm going for. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys maybe are excited to kind of see where I take this. I really do want to make a clean setup, a clean splitter. So I'm going to definitely try my best on this project. Definitely don't want it looking like a DIY project. I want it to look legit, like professionally made. So lots of work left as well. I want to make sure it's very, very sturdy. So I want to make sure it has like a really good mount to the frame of the car. So still some stuff to figure out. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, definitely smash that thumbs up button. As well, if you have not already, definitely subscribe to my channel. But anyways, yeah, that'll wrap it up for today's video, guys. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and we'll catch you on the next video. Take it easy.